Copy 724, right. Descend and maintain 2000.
Descend and maintain 2074.
Comment 504, descend and maintain 3000.
3000, comment 504.
So we're gonna start working on the airspace. This is gonna be a long topic, so we're gonna be dividing this topic into multiple videos, and this video is gonna be the first part on this topic. We're gonna start with Class A airspace. So what is a Class A as in alpha airspace is? So Class Alpha airspace is the airspace from 18,000 MSL, and after that, instead of saying the things um, in feet, the we say flight levels up to flight level 600. So between that, this is called the Class A airspace, and in terms of the altitude, that remains the same, but in terms of like the radius, you can think of it as like so within the 40 states, the contiguous 40 states of US and Alaska, uh, it's the within 12 nautical miles. So basically up to this altitude, including that airspace overlaying the waters. Okay, overlaying the waters within 12 nautical miles, right? And if you are not in this US territories and you are in the international airspace beyond 12 nautical miles of the coast of these ones, uh, right, you're gonna have the you're gonna still have the Class A airspace. So in order to keep it simple, it is between 18,000 feet MSL to flight level 600. Okay, can you fly in this Class Alpha airspace if you have the VFR rating? Like if you are flying VFR under VFR conditions, can you go to Class A airspace? The answer is no, you cannot. Okay, and the third one is that what is the minimum pilot certification you need to have in order to fly in this Class Alpha airspace? You at least need to have a private pilot license, PPL, and you should have an instrument rating if you want to fly in Class Alpha airspace. Okay, what minimum requirement is required? Sorry, what minimum equipment is required for flight operations within Class Alpha airspace? So in terms of the equipment, and basically this question is related to the radio stuff. So you definitely need to have a two-way radio capability of communicating with the ADC on the frequency assigned to you. The second one is the mode C, C as in Charlie, altitude encoding transponder. And the third one is like equipped with the instruments and equipment required for the IFR operations, because only the IFR, you definitely need to have the IFR rating. So all the equipment related to that IFR operations, that should be working if you want to enter in this airspace. Okay, how is Class Alpha airspace depicted on navigational charts? So the answer is that there is no depiction of Class Alpha airspace in the navigational charts. Okay, what is the definition of Class B as in Bravo airspace? So Class Bravo airspace is basically from the ground to 10,000 feet MSL, surrounding the nation's busiest airports like JFK, Dallas Airport, Chicago Airport, Detroit Airport. Those nation's biggest airports, those are the class Bravo airspace, and they normally, again, the exact feet you're gonna be getting it from the sectional charts or other charts, but like normally it is 10,000 feet MSL, uh, uh, like 10,000 feet MSL from the surface, like close to those busiest airports. Okay, what minimum pilot certification is required if you want to enter or fly an aircraft in this class, Bravo airspace? So the minimum requirements or certifications in terms of certification is that you should, uh, again, there are multiple ones. First of all, if you are private pilot, if you have a private pilot license, you are good to go. Or if you hold a recreational pilot certificate and has met the requirement, uh, which is the like there's a 14 CFR requirements. Even if you have the recreational pilot, you can go in there. Again, if you have met those requirements, which is 14 CFR 61.94, you have a student pilot certificate, you can still enter into that one. Also, with the if the requirements have been met, if you have a sports pilot license or certificate, you can go in there. Uh, so basically, they are not really holding back, even if you have uh, like the student pilot, or you have like other ones, but you definitely need to have the requirements met in 14 CFR 61.94. Couple of other things I wanted to cover. What is the minimum requirement, equipment requirement? So for Bravo airspace, the equipment requirement is that you should have an operable two-way radio capable, like an aircraft which is has the two-way radio capable of communicating with ADC on the appropriate frequencies. And again, you should also have a mode C altitude encoding transponder. And the third one is if you are flying in the IFR, you should have an operable VOR or TACAN uh, receiver, and like it could be depending on this. If it is IFR, it could be you should have a suitable RNAV. Again, not very different from the class alpha airspace. So what are the basic requirements in order to enter the class Bravo airspace? So the only requirement is that uh, you should obtain an ATC clearance from the ATC facility before entering into the class Bravo airspace. If you do not have the clearance, you shouldn't be entering into the class Bravo airspace. And the last thing I wanted to cover is like what minimum weather conditions are required when basically doing a VFR flight in this airspace, the class Bravo airspace. So it goes like this, that the VFR flight operations must be conducted clear of clouds. There shouldn't be any clouds with at least 3 statute miles flight visibility. So if you have 3 statue miles, visibility, and clear of the clouds, you are in terms of the weather conditions, you are good good to fly in the class Bravo airspace as VFR. Those were the things I wanted to cover. Thanks for watching.